Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Situation with Polk and Scott, Sunday edition. How's it going, Scott?
Oh, doing great, Polk, man. Ready for Sunday football and ready to get to talk to y'all guys about injuries and who do you need to, who's in and who's out.
Right on. Yeah, we're gonna go over some lineup advice. We're gonna talk about injuries. We're gonna talk about these games. Right? It's week one.
Right.
It's
Right.
here. Everybody wants to know who to sit, who to start. We're gonna go over all that for all of y'all. Gonna be exciting. I'm excited. It's gonna be exciting week one. I hope you are excited. I know Scott's excited.
I am, boy. I am. And I woke up this morning. I'm like, finally, Sunday football all day long. I'm excited. Don't want to talk about college football yesterday. There was some disappointing losses yesterday. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about get you set up for this Sunday.
Yeah, it was a terrible day for football in Texas yesterday. You know,
Man, talking about it was really bad.
as it was.
So,
Yeah, Scott, what's up? So, Scott, I mean, I'm curious who you got in your lineups today?
okay, I was just looking at that. So, in one of my leagues here, I got Russell Wilson starting, Kamara, this is in our league. Travis Etienne, Justin Jefferson, Scary Terry, uh, Hawk, Kareem Hunt, 49ers defense, and Carlson for the kicker.
Okay, any
All,
of those you
all.
particularly worried about?
You know, the only thing the only thing I'm kind of worried about right now is, Kareem Hunt, split carries and stuff like that. Um, but I mean, he's projected to do, 8.4 for our league there. Uh, Other than that, I mean, maybe TJ Hawkinson. Just, I mean, they're playing Philly, today, and you know, Philly D can shut TJ down because that's, other than St. Brown over there, that's the only options they have other than Swift and the backfield.
Right on.
What about you, Pope? What about in our league? Any concerns on you? Who's your lineup over there?
Um, well, I'm gonna say that I did start out on the bang in two leagues with Gabe Davis. I was really impressed with what he did. Was it like 4 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown? So that's kind of the usage that I expect out of him for the rest of the season. I think he's going to be a very boomer bust guy, so he's going to be able to make the most of his opportunities. I figure him about five targets a game or so, and with his speed, hopefully he can take the top off more often than not. In my main league right now, I'm rocking with Tua Tagovailoa. Hopefully, Tua should have a good week, right? The defense should eat.
Right.
Tua should be able to come out and get to use his new weapons. So that should be neat. And then we'll see Barkley against Tennessee, Fournette against Dallas. I got Jamar Chase in, Pat Fairmouth, Damon Pierce. I'm kind of worried about Pierce. I'm worried about his target share. He is the starter, but if the game goes south, they're going to abandon the run game, and that's going to limit his opportunities, things like that. And it is the Texans. They're not the
Mhm.
best team, but we'll see what Mills can do. I think it's his job to lose, and I'm excited to see if he can build off of what he did last year. It's going to be exciting. He's going to have a good career in the NFL. So we'll see. And
Yeah.
then I got Joseph from Minnesota, the kicker, always banging him. So
Yep. Okay. All right. I like the lineup. Any injury concerns on your lineup that you need to worry about? Game time
no, but
decisions.
I'm about ready to get into injuries. Sorry, I was sharing our podcast with the world. So
Awesome. Well, let's get into that right now. Um, you guys are if you guys on Thursday night's game, if you were a little disappointed with Matthew Stafford, you should have been. I mean, he had three interceptions in that game. Seemed like he was only concentrated with Cooper Cup. Nobody else. Allen Robinson, I think, only got 2 targets but 1 catch. And then Chinook had a couple catches there, but other than that, that was it. The running game wasn't there. Cam Akers, a lot of people were upset with Cam not playing as much. I think they're just working him up just a little bit, trying to get him going from that big injury he had. Henderson, I think he only got like little over 50 yards of rushing. Sean McVay, man, he need to have a new game plan. What do you think, Polk?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Wow.
Sunday morning allergies over here in Texas, guys. It's bad.
It's oh man. Yeah, I'm down here. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry about that, guys.
So, I think the Bills rush. We'll go back into it. I think the Bills rush really factored in. They brought a lot of pressure, so a lot of the routes that they were running, it was for one, Stafford has Cooper Kupp eyes, right? He is only looking for Cooper Kupp. He did that in years past, and it was successful with Calvin Johnson. He just want to go with someone you're reliable, you can rely on. A lot of the other receivers, so Allen Robinson's new to the team, and I'm sure they're building a good rapport in practice. But he hasn't built that. He hadn't built that game. Stafford's going to find someone that he knows he can trust, knows where he's at, and kind of sees the same thing, right? They practice a lot together. They understand different situations. So as he was getting blitzed, he wanted to find his safety blanket, right? And that's what happened. The one time that he hit a guy in his face, he threw that interception. Almost the one other time that he didn't try to find Kupp. So, and Allen Robinson, the routes he was running were a little deeper. By the time that a lot of the time, if you go back and look at the film, that a lot of the time, by the time he got open, Robinson got open or made his break, the ball's already out. The ball was already out of Stafford's hands. He had to get it out. He had, it was ridiculous, like 7 hits.
Right.
So Von Miller, wow, great addition, right?
Right.
The defense, I don't know I think a lot of it attributes to that Rams O-line is just not that good.
Right.
But we don't want to take too much away from the Bills defense because they came through in that game.
Yes, they did. Like you said, Von Miller. He played for the Rams last year, so he had 2 sacks that night against Matthew Stafford. He looked like he was like a young rookie coming out there, just balling, and he looked amazing. He looked great. He looked like he's got like new life in him.
Right, but he actually looked healthy, which is fantastic for Von Miller. So that's exciting, and the Bills have a lot to look forward to. That defense played great, and the Rams got to learn. They got to capitalize, and that's how you beat the Rams teams. They're definitely going to watch that tape, and you're going to see a lot of teams blitzing, trying to get Stafford to get the ball out of his hands, because I think that's where Stafford does make mistakes. He is a gunslinger, and he's not afraid to throw it. So Stafford will throw it, instead of throwing it out, he'll try to fit it in somewhere, and he will throw interceptions. That is one thing that if you go back and look at Stafford's career, he's never been shy on throwing interceptions, right? That is Stafford's, Achilles heel. He'll throw 3 touchdowns, but he'll throw an interception. He'll throw 2 interceptions. He don't, if you look last year, he did the same thing. So teams are going to try to do that and try to capitalize off that. Hopefully the Rams can get their lineup and going. And if you see a lot of the same, Cooper Kupp may have a monster year again because, like I said, he's just that safety blanket until he's not. Now, the question about Henderson and Akers, I'm really not sure what that situation is. They said that Akers is – I'm just guessing that they're going with the hot hand, right? Henderson probably looked better. He practiced a little bit more. He's been at practice a little bit more than Akers was able to do. They both had some injuries. Both were out for a little bit, but I think Henderson came back faster. And that was a game plan, right? He was able to pick up the game plan a little bit faster, and so the coach wanted him out there on more plays. So I think that's. I don't think it's sell. I don't think it's, oh my gosh, you drafted a bust. you didn't so much draft a bust as you drafted what you should have known going into it, right? That there's two backs in that offense, and the coach likes both of them. And 1 week it's going to be Akers, and 1 week it's going to be Henderson. So, I'm sorry if you didn't know that. You should have listened to Punt Situation. But
Exactly. Hey, Polk, let's talk about Josh Allen a little bit, man. His running game that he had. Well, he was knocking over some defenders, didn't he?
who is that? Singletary?
Josh Allen. No.
Oh, Josh Allen. Wow, he. I don't know who. I have to go look. I don't know who it was that he big faced
Yeah.
for that first down. Wow, it had a remnants of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, big boy, and he's out there
Yeah.
playing football. It's
Yeah.
great to
And he's
see.
loving it.
Yeah, yeah, he is. I worry about him.
Yeah.
But he
He's.
go ahead.
I mean, the runs that he did during that game, I'm like, oh my god, he's about to get hurt, And he just gets up and he's got this big smile on his face, and he's there to have fun. You're right. I mean, it's not about the money. It's not about you know. Of course, it's about winning the game and everything, but he is there to have fun, and you can tell that quarterback right there is having fun. And I'll be the first person to say it. When he first came out, I was worried about him. I didn't think he was that guy, but he proved me wrong. And I'm a big Josh Allen fan now. I love his style. I love how he spreads the ball around to all his receivers and everything. There is going to be times when Josh Allen is going to make those mistakes, and every quarterback does. But for the most part, he's on point.
Yeah, he looked really good. You can tell that he put in the work in the offseason. I mean, he came out just throwing darts. Fantastic to see. It's great to see that he's out there having fun. It makes you think. You think back on Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck never looked like he was having that much fun. I'm glad that Josh Allen's out there having fun. All that means is maybe he does it for a little bit longer, right? Because in the end,
Right.
it's a game. You want these guys to have fun as much as we put on their shoulders things like that, and they're professionals. But at the same time, it, you gotta enjoy what you do, right? And it's great to see that he does. So,
Hey, Paul,
all right,
real
right on.
quick.
Go ahead.
Jalen Ramsey, man, looks like age caught
Huh.
up to him, right?
Yeah, I don't know, Rust. Um,
Yeah.
and it's hard to beat. Like, so that Diggs, that back shoulder pass, that was the most perfect. I can tell you they probably practiced that 100 times. I feel like they
Yeah.
did that with their eyes closed. That was the most perfect back shoulder pass. The ball was in the air. Diggs turns around and just snags it. I mean, it's right there. Split second reaction time. He didn't even have much room. He immediately had to go out of bounds. Phenomenal. It was great. So, how does Ramsey prepare for that? You just can't. I mean, Ramsey was close enough that if it was any other route, he would have been right there. You can't prepare for that. That was just perfect, right? And
Right.
but Ramsey did. He got beat deep too. I'm not going to say that Ramsey wasn't there. Diggs just outplayed him, right? Diggs went for the
Yeah.
ball and was able to bring the ball down. So, great job,
Right.
Diggs. He had a phenomenal week. Um,
Yep.
for the most part, the Bills did. I like that. I like the usage of Singletary. That kind of
Singletary
confirmed that
looked good.
Singletary seems to be the guy. Go ahead.
No, I said that you're right. Singletary looks good. I mean,
Yep.
and
He
like you
looked
were saying, he
explosive.
can be that number.
Yep.
Yep.
Ran hard. So that's exciting. You've seen Zach Moss come in and catch a couple passes out of the backfield. It's exciting to know for Singletary owners that you are going to get usage. Now, it's not going to be, it's not going to be a Derrick Henry or something like that, but you can feel comfortable starting Singletary for the most part from what I've seen in week one. And it's great. And Zach Moss owners, you can almost feel comfortable in dropping him unless something happens to Singletary. And Cook owners, you can feel comfortable in almost dropping him. Now, keep him as a backup if you don't need something else. But right now, their usage is just not going to be there. And they should be in the free agency unless someone else grabs them and stashes them until week like 6 or 7 because they just, can.
Right. I agree. I agree. So, are you ready to get on these injuries or in and outs and stuff?
Yeah, let's rock out. Let's talk about some of these injuries, Scott.
Okay. Go for it. What you got for me?
All right, we'll start over here in Jacksonville. James Robinson, he's going to play, um,
Yep.
which is really neat. It's nice to see him come back. Um, I would worry about his limited. We talked about it. He might be limited. ETN is the guy. ETN, like we talked about earlier, has been at practice, right? He's been in there working on the game plan with the new coach, working with quarterbacks, gaining everybody's trust. And Robinson is the guy, but at the same time, like they want to ease him back into it, right? You don't want to
Right.
bring something back with a fresh coat of paint and take it out the first day and let it get scratched up. They're going to ease him into it, and but it's exciting that he's going to be able to play football, right?
Right. Exactly.
All right, we'll stick with the running backs. J.K. Dobbins. I would not start J.K. Dobbins this week. J.K.
Oh,
Dobbins will, man, it's very unlikely that he doesn't play, right? It's very unlikely that he plays, for one. For two, if he plays, he's not going to be in there very much.
no,
Not
it's going to
enough at
be
all
one.
to start him.
No,
Go ahead, Scott.
probably like maybe two to five carries, and that's it for him. Unless it's goal line carries for some reason, I don't know. I don't see him doing anything productive this week. Keep you know, keep him out of your lineup. Eventually, he's going to be that starter.
Yep. So it's scary. It's a concern. We're going to go with George Kittle. George Kittle is probably not going to play.
He is going to be out. Sources are saying that it's not going to happen. Uh, you need to find somebody to replace him right away. Go to your waiver wires. We'll talk about that here shortly. But if you got somebody stashed in your bench, you need to replace George Kittle today.
Yep. The big thing is it's a growing, guys. It's easily aggravated. It's not a major injury. He could probably play through it, but it's not something you want to carry into week in and week out. And I mean, come on, what are they playing the Bears today? It's not like
Right.
they're not going to win this game without Kittle. They're going to be able to win pretty easy. It's going to be interesting because they would, I'm sure, like to see Trey Lance in there with Kittle, so that he could have his little safety blanket, and the run game would do benefit from having Kittle in there because he's such a great blocker. At the same time, it's just not gonna. They're not gonna lose the game because Kittle's not there, and it's just better to go ahead and rest him and let him get 100%. Um, you know, before the season just really gets rocking and rolling.
Agreed. Agreed. You got next for us, buddy.
Alan Lazard.
Alan Zard. And Alan Zard is questionable for this game. It's not looking promising, but we'll see when it gets closer to that 12 o'clock mark if he's going to play or not. We should hear something at least by 11. See if he's playing today. Polk, what's your position?
Yeah, Alan Lazard is pretty doubtful. I don't think Alan Lazard plays. The great thing about Green Bay is you're going to see how Aaron Rodgers fares with his rookies, right? His new rookie wide receivers that they drafted him, that we've heard so much talk about in camps of how good they're doing. We're going to see if they're the real deal, which is exciting. So, it's always good to be able to kick the door down and go ahead and see what you got. Alan Lazard, I think, is going to be the main weapon in that offense, but
Yeah,
don't have him week one. Don't count on him week one.
yeah, I agree with you. Looks like it's going to be the old man Randall Cobb and Tanyan over there, and then of course Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. But you probably will see AJ Dillon more being worked in this game. You agree with me on that one?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they want to use AJ Dillon, right? They were ready to let Aaron Jones go. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones took a team friendly contract to come back. AJ Dillon's just the back, right? He's been out there. He's been phenomenal. The guy's got monster thighs. If they get in a goal line situation, I promise you'll see AJ Dillon in there because he's just a monster, right? He can pound that rock. Done fairly well with the carries he got last year. I just think they're going to increase on that, right? In the end, you got two backs. Why not use both of them?
Right.
Jones is a great pass catcher. We're not taking anything away from him. But Dillon's the back that I honestly want through the tackles, So I think if those situations arise and the pass game doesn't work as well as they think it should, then you're going to see a lot of A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Agreed. What do you got, bud?
All right, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson was a full participant. He's going to be good to go. He's going to play Sunday. So we're going to see how him and Mitch.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you.
I would not worry about not. I would start Deontay Johnson. If you drafted Deontay Johnson, go ahead and put him in the lineup and don't worry. He got a full practice in. It's Mitch Trubisky, so Mitch Trubisky loves. I don't know if y'all remember when Allen Robinson was in there towards the end of the game when things were down and they were definitely passing it. He will hyper target a receiver. Now whether it be Pickens or Claypool or I'm not necessarily sure who his favorite is, but Deontay Johnson is the one. Got paid to be the one. So he's. I would start him without a worry.
Agreed. Okay, man. Who else you got?
I got Michael Thomas for the Saints.
Michael Thomas. All right. So Michael Thomas. What I've been hearing reports that practice he's not participating as much. You think he's going to be out?
Yeah, they're saying that he make an appearance. I know that he needs to play right, but I don't know that he needs to play this week so that he can re-injure. He's made progress, things like that. He's just not. I don't know. I wouldn't fully trust it. I would actually, if you can, I would set somebody and I would start somebody else this week. It's just too close, right? If you have to start him, fine. It's not going to be a terrible play. I think he's good enough that he will do okay. Especially in like a PPR format, running that slant route, things like that. But again, you worry like if it's going to be a game time decision, he's not 100%, right? That's what that's telling me. You don't want him out there running routes at 80%. It just takes away from everything, right? He's not going to catch the ball and do as much with it if he's not 100%. So I just worry. It's a concern. I wouldn't play him unless I had to.
So if somebody has Michael Thomas in their lineup, possibly might have to go in the waiver wire. You think a lead will be a good pickup for him, or a lead?
Oh,
they're Ricky over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that works.
Other than Landry.
Yeah, well, Landry might be a big focal point. Landry's actually a good receiver. He just got to stay uninjured. It's Winston. So what we've learned from Winston is Winston likes to throw the ball. Winston will let it rip. He does not care. I don't know. I hadn't seen enough out of Believe. I don't know if he's the type of player that could really take the top off. I think that's what he's drafted for, right? Speed.
Right.
I just hadn't seen that. Now, Winston loves to – I mean, he made his mark in Tampa, and Mike Evans was a 1,000-yard receiver, and so was Godwin, right? So it was fantastic. He can definitely support 2,000-yard receivers. We'll see. We'll see if Aleve can get open. We'll see if he's able to beat the corners and actual NFL guys. And then Landry, we'll see if he can stay on the field to get to that point. But I think you fare pretty well with Jameis Winston at quarterback over anybody else. I think that's your best option for those receivers on that team.
Agreed. All right, Polk, who else you got?
Miles Sanders.
Oh man, the guy that said, "Don't pick me in your fantasy draft this year." What do you hear about Miles Sanders right now?
Miles Sanders says he's absolutely going to play Sunday.
Okay. All right. So Miles Sanders is going to play. Is that going to change anything? Anybody's fantasy? I mean, playing Detroit.
And that's exactly it, right? If you drafted Miles Sanders, you probably got him in between the 5th and the 3rd round. That's pretty good capital on a guy that I think you kind of have to start him, especially week 1 against this Detroit defense. Because if he's going to have a day, it's only going to be like against Detroit or the Jets, the Giants, teams like that. And so could have a rough time against like his division teams, the Cowboys, the Commanders. So I think you have to start him, right? I just honestly,
Right.
if you spent the draft capital, I think you got to see what you got. It's time for the unboxing. We'll go ahead and kick it out, throw it out there week one, because you did draft him. You did spend some capital. I get that he's got 14 guys in the backfield in the running back room that look exactly like him and could probably do it a little bit better. But Miles Sanders, he is in that offense a three down back, I guess, essentially. I mean, he's more of a third
Right.
down back, but they have given it to him between the tackles, things like that. So I don't know. I guess you have to start him. It's really.
I mean, in my opinion, I wouldn't use him in the standard league. I would use him more of a PPR league, but that's just me, though. You agree with me on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, if you have him in standard, you probably spend a little bit of draft capital on him. You got him, like I said, you probably got him between the third and the fifth. And I think if you got him between the third and the fifth, he's a guy that I'm probably starting this week. Unless you went down and got like someone like Elijah Mitchell later on, and you can throw Elijah Mitchell, then I would put him over Miles Sanders probably. If you got a good fill-in, if you got a good backup, um, you know, but Miles Sanders is finally healthy.
Yeah.
You want to get at least one good week out, right? Get a good
Right.
week and then
Exactly.
sell.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Who
Okay.
you got? Who you got next, buddy?
Christian McCaffrey.
All right.
Christian,
CMC. He had that little injury there, but should be good to go, right, Paul?
yeah, he took a cleat to the shin. He showed up on the injury report once again. Scared fantasy managers for a little bit, gave him a quick little heart attack. But Christian McCaffrey's good to go. I think he's used early and often. I think you need to start him. You should start him. He was your number one pick, right? Start him, and don't question it.
Right. I agree. Who's next, buddy?
All right, we got Drake London.
Drake London. He was doubtful during the week. Is he still doubtful he's going to play?
So it's going to be a game time decision. I think the team wants to see him out there, right? I think they're leaning towards playing him. Um, you want to start the year off, especially after the atrocious year that you had last year. You really want your pieces week one. You want to see what you really have. Atlanta wants to see what they have, and they can't do that if they don't have Drake London out there. So I think they're trending towards wanting to play him. They want to start the year off right and show that this franchise is in a different direction than what it was last year. So
Right.
I don't think you play him, but I think he's probably going to play.
Okay. All right. Especially with that new owner defense over there, they're going to be playing. It's going to be tough. It'll be a
Right.
rough game for Atlanta. Who do you got next, bud?
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. Oh man, that when I saw that report, man, that kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
What's going on with Jalen Waddle, man? Tell us.
Jalen Waddle had I think it was a hamstring injury. He's good to go. He's going to be playing Sunday. So get excited, Miami fans. You're going to get to see the Waddle. You're going to get to see the Cheetah. You're going to get to see the Tua. So it's going to be exciting. That offense should really be it should be a great start, right? They got all these pieces, all these fast pieces. They're going to be able to do a lot with the ball. You got Mostert, I think, starting. I think Chase Edmonds is going to play too. So I
Right.
mean, all the pieces that they brought in, you're going to see it all together. You're going to see the whole puzzle put together. It should be exciting. Hopefully, it needs to be right.
Right. Right. So it should be exciting. The Dolphins playing against the Patriots. A lot
Division
of people
game.
still
Yep.
say, yeah, it's a division game. A lot of people say the Patriots defense is going to hold them. I don't think so. I think Miami's going to come in there and go balls to the walls and take it to them. And, I would love to see that for the Dolphins. They've been down in the total poll for years next to the Jets. And hey, I would love to see the Dolphins just come out here and blaze the glory.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I would love them to just come out and put up 45 points and shut the lights out in New England. Um, So and then they'll get to do it later on again this year. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it'd be nice. Miami spent a lot, brought in a lot of pieces. You'd hate to see it just not work out, right? All
Right.
right, awesome. That covers the injuries that I have for you, Scott.
Yeah. Sounds
Yes,
good.
sir.
All right. So you want to break down each game real quick, and who do you think is going to do well in that game?
Yeah, what we can do is just roll through some of these like 12 o'clock games and just talk about guys
All
that
right.
you would possibly start, guys you wouldn't start, things like that. If you want to do that,
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. All
awesome,
right.
awesome.
Let's pull this up real quick here.
Hey, you might even get fancy and give us a winner, huh?
Yeah, exactly. What is going on with my internet?
Hmm.
All right.
I don't know.
Here we go. All right, 12 o'clock games. We just mentioned the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons. All right, who do you think Atlanta's? Who's going to be doing decent in Atlanta? You thinking Mariota? You thinking um, you know Cordero Patterson? Who who's going to do well over there in Atlanta today? Pitts, maybe nobody.
Winston, for Atlanta, we're gonna go. Yeah, I would say Pitts. Pitts would probably be the only guy that I would consider starting. People like Patterson, but I worry about the limitations and I worry about the usage last year. And the defenses know they know what they're going to try to do with Patterson, and they're going to try to stop him. Great return man, but I don't know if he's a great running back. I think last year was kind of a fluky thing. Um, I don't know. I mean, if you drafted him, maybe you have to start him. Then you can start him with some confidence. But he's not a guy that I'm looking to start. Now, I'm gonna be honest, and I said that last year. I'm gonna always say that, and he's gonna have success. He did last year, right? At the same time, he had success 1 year out of 9. Okay, think about that. There were 16 games in the season, and he was not a starting fantasy option. He wasn't drafted 8 of those 9 years, right? He wasn't drafted the 9th year either, but he finally
Right,
did
you're
something.
right. Hmm.
So 1 year out of 9. You think it's going to be 2 out of 10? Because the odds are against him, right? I mean, he had 1 out of 9, so 8 seasons he sucked. That seems to be the more likely trend. That it was just kind of a fluke thing. The Falcons didn't have anything else, didn't have any other playmaker, and he was the playmaker. And I get that worked out for him last year, but I don't think it's going to continue into this year, especially with teams are going to say, all we got to do is stop Cordell Patterson. It's just going
Right.
to open up the door. They got a different quarterback, a different situation. And Mariota can run, right? So now it's not just Patterson. Now maybe they are able to open up, a triple option or something like that, an option game. But at the same time, like teams, this isn't college. It's not going to work as well. Um, so I really I see, I see him not working out like he did last year. I'm sorry if you drafted him. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you that was a terrible decision. Um, Now Pitts, right? That's all I got. That's all I got for you. Pitts is
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
one I would
yeah.
consider starting, and he may not even have a good game. If it goes bad, it'll go real bad. And then you got to
Right.
look at it as a whole too. If the Falcons are losing, they're not running the ball. You know what I'm saying? They may try to throw it to Cordell Patterson, but they're not going to be running it. So that eliminates half of his, usage right there.
Right. So on the Saints side, are you looking at Kamara being the guy today over there
Yes, sir.
running
Yeah,
that
big fan of
defense in?
Kamara today.
Okay. All right. So our other 12 o'clock game is going to be Cleveland against Carolina. Uh, who's going to be the hero over there in Cleveland?
Uh,
You think it's going to
I'm
be Chubb? Or
excited.
is it going to be
Dang. I'm excited to watch that game. That is going to be a good game, I
right?
think.
Yeah, it is going to be a good game. Christian McCaffrey's coming back after his injury there. Um, What are you looking at, man? Chubb is going to be the guy over there. It sure is not going to be their quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think Chubb is going to be the best option there. Just kind of all the way around. Chubb is, you know, everything fell apart, right? Odell left, Landry left, Baker left.
Right.
The only consistent piece is going to be Chubb. And
Yeah.
Hunt already asked for a trade. So when players like that are asking for a trade, I get it's probably contractual reasons, right? You don't think he's making enough.
Right.
He's coming towards the end of his career, getting up there in age. You know, it's just what happens. Running backs are done about 30. At the same time, like I think usage could be a factor. I mean, the team knows what they have in Chubb. Chubb's a monster, right? Chubb is arguably
Right.
one of the best backs in the NFL. If he didn't have Hunt, you know, his carries and everything will reflect that. So I think in practice and stuff, I mean, you got Jacoby Brisket. You can't trust him to throw the football. So what you're going to do is you're going to trust Chubb to pound that ball. And you know they were the most runningest team last year.
Mhm.
I think that doesn't change, especially when you have a back like Chubb, and then Hunt can spell in. So he is the guy that
Well,
I would look for. That now Panthers had a pretty decent run defense at the beginning of the year last year. Um,
mhm.
they're still not, you know, that D line is still not where it needs to be. So I think that they won't have too much of a problem. They'll be able to peel it back and get, you know, I think.
I agree. For the Carolina side, and I'm looking at Christian McCaffrey hitting it big his first week over there. I think Baker Mayfield, he's gonna just show up Cleveland today too. I think both of them are gonna have a great game. Polk, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's really good to see and show. I'm excited. I'm excited to tune in and watch that. DJ Moore will get in a little bit too. I think he'll get about 5 targets. Seen him, yeah, gonna make a game, even though he's the number. You know, game as quarterback is just a little bit better. So, um,
Hey, hey buddy.
fun.
I am. I need to get out real quick, and I'll come back right in. I'm having some audio problem or some visual problems right now. Coming
I
right
got you.
back in.
Okay. All right. So, um, hold on, guys. Yes, this is me. Okay. Back to it. Basically, uh, yeah, Baker, CMC, you on. You got to first round. Uh, and then DJ Moore shouldn't be bad. I think there's about 3 to go around. Uh, and I think and then you just got to deal the other one. I don't know. I'm still worried about Russian. I worry about his usage last year. You know, he hit it off hot. Baker Mayfield likes to push the ball, right? He can. He's been known to push that ball down the field, and I think Robbie Anderson, the way that he's ran that offense in years past, he hadn't been that guy that was the downfield threat. Even though the Jets, he just the scheme that what they're doing to receive. I think that it's just he's not running that deep route, and arguably have one of the better deep route runners. You got DJ Moore, uh, do it. So you know why not utilize him over Robbie Anderson? So
Right. Right. All right. Paul, can you see me really well?
um, yeah,
Okay. He keeps telling me that I'm having some internet problems, but I don't see it on my end.
is he telling you from YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like
look
right
great
now.
now.
Okay. Like right now, it's telling me that I can't see you right now, so I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, I got it pulled up, and it looks it's not the prettiest. You know, it doesn't whole members up. I guarantee you that everybody's on cartoons. Um,
Oh, for sure, for sure. All
I
right,
tried
so let's
to
go on.
I
What's
tried to give
that?
them money and tell them to go to the store, but they didn't.
Oh man. Okay. So let's go on and move on to the San Francisco and Chicago game. Um, I think it's pretty much simple. You know, play just about every San Francisco player today against Chicago.
Uh, yeah, I mean, no, well, I want to temper expectations with Trey Lance, just because he's worse without Kittle, right? I think everybody's worse without Kittle. Kittle's just, he is that factor in that offense, that X factor, right? Debo Samuel should be a good play though, and I'm not going to say that I'm not going to start Trey Lance. I have him in a league. He's still going to start. Um, he's still going to start, but you know, temper expectations, right? That's all I'm saying. It's just his first game. Yeah, it's against Chicago, so it's a good one, right? That's what you want for your starting your new quarterback. This is the type of defense you want to start him in. Chicago's always been known for the defense, but they're not a good team. So
You're right.
we'll see. It should be for Debo. Mitchell should be all right to start too. Those are the two guys that I'm really excited to see start this game.
Okay. Anybody on Chicago's side?
I consider starting Mooney. Cole Kmet is a start. Other than that, no. After those two, I honestly don't touch anybody else. Mooney, because is the only guy in that offense, right? Mooney and Kmet are the only two guys in that offense that I think are going to catch the ball. Honestly, so I don't know. I mean, you could probably start David Montgomery, but at San Fran,
Right.
it's just not. It's a smart start.
I agree with you on that.
So
all right.
They're going to be down and they're going to be throwing the ball, and it's going to Kmet and Mooney.
Agreed. Okay, so the next 12 o'clock game is going to be Pittsburgh against the Bengals over there. They're going to be playing at Cincinnati. Who do you start with Pittsburgh, man? Do you feel comfortable with Najee going against that defense over there?
No. Not comfortable with Najee at all. Listrick injury, that it concerns me. That worries me. I worry that it's going to limit his snap count. I know he wasn't on their injury report, but that's dealing with it. I know that they didn't heal overnight, right? So it's going to be an injury he continues with. I mean, it's not the whole season for a good part of it if they don't limit his stuff. So in the end, they're saying, hey, if we have the chance, if we could possibly make playoffs, can we do without him? And honestly, you can't. So what you got to do is try to expand his longevity. That you got to carries starting at week 1, and so that right there concerns me. Right, as soon as you say limit carries, I'm worried.
Right.
As soon as I say that takes away the potential. Because what football is, that's why snap counts is a big thing. People sit there and look at that. He was out there for 98% of the plays, this and that, because it's opportunity. Fantasy football is his opportunity. Do they have the chance to get the ball? Because they have no chance. If they're going to be out there 20 plays in the whole game, that's only 20 plays. Okay, and that does not guarantee that they're going to get the ball. So you're going to say maybe possibly 10 out of the 20 he's going to get the ball. And, the game script changes. If the game changes, if score changes, factors that now you got to bring it down to possibilities that he can with the ball that he's going to get out of his 20 carries. And so right there, that worries me, right? Because I'd rather have 50 opportunities, 100 opportunities than narrowing it down. That's what's going to happen. Sunday morning, I'm super excited, guys. So bear with me. I'm not going to worry about the injury, heavy usage last year, all those things come into and I think if they go down real quick, they're going to bring out what they got and see what they got and pick that. So, you have to start right now. I guess you drafted him early enough. man, if you got anything else, it should be nice at the.
Okay. What do you think with their wide receiver core with Deontay Johnson, Mike Claypool over there? Any starts for
You know,
those guys?
I don't start anybody.
Okay. What about the Bengals side? Joey Burrow,
Start
all those guys,
start them all.
all of them,
Start
start them all. Okay,
start
you
Higgins.
got it.
Start
You heard it.
Chase. Mixon. Start Burrow. Um,
Boyd.
Burrow just coming off the he had last year. The boy is phenomenal. If he goes out there those 50 passes, wow, he could put up some really good points. And then his receivers are just amazing, right? Boyd, he got three of the best. I think he's got the best receiving core in the NFL. Just we're talking about three, right? Boyd, Higgins, and Jamar Chase, phenomenal. So you're going to start all those. If you have any, you're going to start them. Don't hesitate at all. They should still have a good game.
Great. All right, awesome. So the next 12 o'clock game is going to be Philadelphia and at Detroit. Let's start with Philly. AJ Brown making his first game appearance with Philly. Should you start him?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think, yeah. I mean, AJ Brown's good enough. He's a competent receiver. The only AJ Brown is injuries. And even then, he's battled for some of those. He's always had a pretty decent game. They trade like a first round pick for him.
Right.
What was it? Yeah, they're gonna win. And the thing got him in the draft. They got any other deal. The thing about that is they got. I mean, they got an NFL right. Everybody else drafted a guy that you're unsure you never know about. They knew what they were getting with AJ Brown. They got a big, fast NFL ready receiver who's been slightly injury prone. So they got the same time as it's from last week. So he's been there through all the training. Good rapport with Hurts. Knows that he can throw to him. So yeah, start him. I start Devontae Smith. I think he upgrades as all the pressure's not on him. He can get out there and do what he needs to do and just beat guys.
Right.
So that's going to be phenomenal. He's going to be covered. AJ Brown's going to be the guy to cover. So I would start both. Now, when you're talking about that back, I think you have to start Miles Sanders even though you probably shouldn't. But other than that, those are the two guys I want.
No on Dallas Goedert?
I don't think so, right? I mean, I don't know. He's just never had that rapport with Hurts from when they played.
Right.
He's never. I think his most successful year was with Wentz, and Wentz is long gone. And then I think you got AJ Brown and you got Devontae Smith. Like, I would just much rather try to get them the ball, and then Hurts likes to run, so then that eliminates opportunities, right? Because he's not Wentz. He's not going to sit there and let Goddard get open and try to find him. He's just going to take off running. So no, I don't know. I mean, you probably have to if you drafted him. You probably didn't get another tight end. Did or someone like that? I don't know. Throw him in. Already been a bad showing for tight ends already this week. Started off right, so
sure.
You can't to that.
Exactly. All right, on the Detroit side, DeAndre Swift must start, right?
Yeah, Swift is must start. Have a pretty decent game. I'm excited to see line that they have built them a great line over there. I'm excited to see that Steel Curtain just fill people, or not still. I think that's already used. I don't know, the Motor City assembly line. I don't know. But go ahead.
No, I was laughing.
Okay. I think the Motor City assembly line is going to be able to go around. It's going to be great. And Swift is a guy that I love. A lot of talent. I love the ball in his hands, and I want to see him do something. I think he has a pretty decent game. It's hard to such a good line, right?
Right. All right, so let's. What about Onse Brown and T.J. Hawkinson and DJ Shark?
I'm with Onse Brown. I would start him. I think he's a number one to me in that offense. 202 balls on the drag machine every day. The dude's going to catch everything, and he's a pretty good route runner. So yeah, I would start him. I'd love to see him in flex spot. I hope he's a believer. If he is, then I hope you got a million runners to compensate. But yeah, no, I'd start him. I'd start TJ. Yeah, that'll cover it though.
All
No golf. No one else. TJ and Amon and not in that order.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so next game, which I'm really excited for, it's Matthew Ryan's Matt Ryan, excuse me, big debut over there with the Colts. I'm so glad to see him with a different organization. Uh, they're going to be playing the Houston Texans today. Polk, Matt Ryan need a starter today, correct?
Yeah, start Ryan. Start Pittman too.
Yeah, Pippen, JT, of course. What about Paris Campbell? Would you start him as well?
No.
Uh,
I'm not going to
Cooks.
lie. Matt Ryan has been a single receiver. He kind of like Matt Stafford, where he targets a guy. He had Julio Jones for all those years. I think Pittman's number one. I like what Pittman can do. I'd like the opportunity what Pittman brings, like Matt can hit him over the top. He's a big, strong, physical receiver who's pretty fast and can run a decent route. So I think Matt Ryan, I mean, he's really, if he's going to target anybody, it's going to be him. And I just want to see Paris Campbell to actually play football. He's never been the guy that was drafted to be. He was out all of last year. So I want to temper expectations. I want to see him play. Listen, so that things like that, like it could bite you in the ass, right? Like he could go out and have the best game ever, but the odds are against it, right? Usually they're a little bit slower. They got to get game speed. Like all these things factor in. So they're 90% of the time, they're not going to come out and be that star player that you expect them to be, especially coming off of a year injury. We say that we talk about him, we talk about Michael Thomas, things like that, temper expectations because yes, don't get me wrong, they have the potential to good or they were good. But at the same time, they, and you can run as many drills as you want and you can, work out as much as you want. You can never match a live game action, right? Like I know that y'all played sports. Everybody probably played a sport at the time you practice and stuff, but it was never the same as in a game. A game goes a lot faster. There's a lot more that has to go through your head a lot quicker. And then, if they haven't done that, if you go out there right now, you ain't thrown a baseball in 10 years, it's not going to be like you were throwing it back in the day. Your arm's going to be a little bit sore. It's going to be a little wonky. It's going to be, this or that. And that's what you should expect out of these players. Now, again, they can show up and show out, right? But it's just not likely. So.
Okay. All right. So the Houston Texans, Brandon Cooks, probably Damian Pierce, maybe the only two.
Yeah, the only two. And I still, Damon Pierce, I'm not like, I mean, I'm starting him, I think, in one of the leagues, but I really almost benched him. Yes, he's the number one back, but the number one back on a terrible team. And if they go down quick, it's it's not going to be hand the ball off. It's going to be let's throw it. That's when they're going to bring Burkhead in, and Pierce is going to sit on the bench, and they're going to try to throw that ball to catch up, and it could get crazy.
Gotcha. So the next 12 o'clock game is going to be the Patriots against the Dolphins. Start with the Patriots real quick. You play Matt Jones.
No.
Okay. You play Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson in a PPR, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
As a flex, like if you don't have anybody else, yep.
Okay. All right.
Maybe in DFS.
Anybody else on that team?
No.
Okay. Defense as well?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, let's go. That was quick, so let's go to the Dolphins. Who should you start at the Dolphins? Should you start everybody in the Dolphins offense, sir?
Everybody but Gesicki.
And tell everybody why.
Well, Dolphins are going to go out. They're going to show out. They want to play with their new toy Hill. Waddle is Waddle, so he says he's the fastest man in the NFL. Then you got the Cheetah, who is proclaimed the fastest man in the NFL. Tua's got some great weapons. They want to get him the ball, and they're going to get him the ball. I mean, they got 106 backs. I think Mostert's getting the start. Chase Edmonds is going to play. But all these guys are small, fast guys. So these are like 3-down backs. So Mostert's really quick. I mean, they just have a scheme, right? And the scheme is speed. So it should be neat to watch work. And if it works, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm excited to see. Tua is Tua's a quarterback, right? I mean, he's not the worst. Definitely, probably, he's not the worst. He's not the best, but he's going to be able to. Anybody can get them guys the ball because that's all you got to do is hit them on a little slant, throw it 5 yards, and they're going to be able to take opportunity. They're fast. They're going to be able to beat the safety to the fucking sideline and turn it up the field. So we should see that all work, hopefully. And start them.
Okay. All right. So next game is going to be the Ravens against the Jets. Let's just go ahead and start with the Jets. Polk, who do you start with the Jets? Michael Carter? Anybody?
Me, you can, but I don't. I wouldn't. I don't know. Don't draft anybody from the Jets. I don't know. Joe Flacco's not a terrible quarterback, right? Some of those receivers are going to get opportunities. Corey Davis might not be a terrible start. Someone has to get the ball, right? They can't go 4 and out every single time, right? And there's going to be, 2 or 3 drives that they're able to sustain a little bit. Corey Davis would probably be the best option on that team. Michael Carter, yes, if they're running it, I think Michael Carter gets some opportunities. I think he gets more than Breece Hall. But it's against a pretty decent defense, Ravens. Ravens are going to be able to run that clock out. They got Lamar Jackson that's going to run the ball, run around all over the place. The clock's going to tick, tick, tick. They're going to get ahead early, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Jets to maintain that. So, again, if I did have to start somebody, it would be Corey Davis.
Okay. All right. So, Baltimore side, of course, you got to start with your man behind you, Lamar Jackson.
Wrong side. God dang.
Right. Yeah.
You see it in
side there. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, you got to start Mark Andrews. Do you start anybody else on that team?
You can start Rashad Bateman.
Okay. All right. You think maybe 5 catches, possible 80+ yards, maybe a possible touchdown with him today?
Yeah, someone's got to get the
ball.
That's the thing. Yeah, someone's got to get the ball, and Bateman has the best opportunity. Andrews is definitely going to get the ball, and Lamar Jackson is definitely going to have a great day. That's why I hung it up. Lamar Jackson, great start. He should have a really good day. Now, he didn't get his contract done. What that tells me is that he's betting on himself, right? So, he's gonna try to do it all. He's going to try to make himself look really good so that coming into, off season, he's going to be able to get the big contract from whoever, whether it be the Ravens or whoever. So he's got to have him a good year. So I think he kind of puts the team on his back a little bit more. And Bateman and Andrews are going to be able to benefit from that.
Okay. All right. So our last 12 o'clock game is going to be Jaguars against the Commanders. Who do you start with the Jaguars? ETN, Robinson, anybody on that team?
I start ETN.
Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence isn't a terrible start, right? He runs the ball. They had some design runs last year. In the preseason, they didn't take those away. He got a new coach, thank God. Urban Meyer's terrible. But
Doug Peterson now.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. They didn't take that away. Doug Peterson going against his old quarterback.
I agree with you.
But yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence isn't a terrible start, guys. So if you have to start him, I don't know, you got Trevor Lawrence and Davis Mills, start Trevor Lawrence. I don't know what other. You got Carson Wentz and Trevor Lawrence. Start Trevor Lawrence. The upside's there because he's going to run the ball. And it's going to be neat because, like I said, Doug Peterson is going to play he's going to go against his old quarterback and Carson Wentz. So that should be fun.
Okay, what about Christian Kirk?
The usage should be there. The injury worried me, right?
Right. Okay.
They paid Christian Kirk way too much, so they better get everything out of him. It's like when you're there's that dot of ketchup in the bottle. You're trying to fucking bang it and squeeze it out and do everything you can. Get the spoon, whatever. They're going to do that with Christian Kirk. You pay that man. They paid that man way too much. He's going to play. Like if they got to drag him out on crutches and throw him out there, he's going to play. If it was me anyway. So yeah, I mean, they're going to try to give him the ball. They're going to see what he can do with it. So it's not terrible. There's just better options. It's week 1.
Right.
Everybody's on the field, so you should have other options, right?
Right. Right. All right. So on the Commanders side, it's got to be Scary Terry, right? I mean, who else? Who else on that team?
That's right, Scary Terry. I think you can actually start Gibson without too much of a worry because of the Robinson injury. Now they say he could come back as early as week 5, so you only got 5 weeks with Antonio Gibson, unless he does really, really good. But I think you can start him with some confidence today because you don't really have anybody that's going to be trying to take away those carries. Unless he fumbles, then they're going to bench him.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, that ends our 12 o'clock. You want to take a quick break, real quick, and we'll leave it here, but we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we'll come back and holler at you.
Yeah, that sounds real good. I don't know necessarily how to do that, but yeah, okay. We'll be back.
We'll just keep it live. We'll just keep it live here.
That sounds good.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Awesome. All right, guys, we're back. All right, so I got some questions for us here, Polk, from our listeners here.
All
We
right.
run that down real quick there.
Sounds good.
All right. First one I got is from Austin. Should I bitch Godwin today, and how much is he going to play?
Going account. So I think that entirely depends on the game script, how the game plays out, right? If they're
Right.
winning, what's the point of having Godwin in? If they're losing, you know, what's the point of having Godwin in? Um, it concerns me. A snap count concerns me, like we talked about earlier. You don't know. Snap count doesn't mean anything. It means that they're going to limit his plays. It means that they're going to limit the route run he runs. They're going to limit a lot of things. What when I hear snap count, what that tells me is don't start him. If you have another option, if you've got another viable option, I would not start Godwin. Don't get me wrong, you drafted him, you need him, but you're going to be real upset. He gets out there and that snap count meant 5 plays. You know, that just again we talk about it. It's going to limit the opportunity, and you don't need that. We're in week 1, right? We need to get some W's right now. We need to start it off the right way, going towards the playoffs. And if you have another option, if you have a better option, I would do that.
Okay. All right. Next one's going to be Daniel Phillips. He just texted me, asked me, should he play Elijah Mitchell or Zeke Elliott on the flex today?
Mm. Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. All right.
The reason, sorry, the reason for that is the Bears. I think that it's going to be one of those games that even if it gets out of hand, they're still going to run the ball. Elijah Mitchell, I think last year the first week he got 23 carries. You know that's fantastic. I think Zeke is limited, especially if we get down and Tampa Bay gets ahead because they have to do that, right? We'll get away from the run game, and it's going to be like we always did, and the Cowboys are going to try to throw the ball to catch up, to keep up. And then when that's happening, Zeke's definitely not getting the ball. We have our passing down back, and that's going to be Pollard. I think we're going to see a little bit more usage out of Pollard. So when we're really just trying to establish the run game and run the ball and stuff, it's going to be Zeke, and that's great. But right now, San Fran, they have other guys, but at the same time, Elijah Mitchell is their guy. So until proven otherwise, he's the more solid running back to start and a more solid running offense. We continue to lose pieces of that Dallas line while San Fran continues to bolster a pretty solid offensive line.
Okay. All right. Nate Pettit, he has a two-part question for you. He says, I have a wide receiver slot and the flex to fill half point PPR. My options are St. Brown and Brandon Cooks, Julio Jones, and Chase Edmonds. Who do you play?
Brown and Cooks. Equinemius St. Brown, I think, is going to have. I think he's going to have a real breakout this season. He had one that was pretty solid last year, where he had like what was it? He had something crazy like that nobody's ever done before, like a reception record. So yeah, Equinemius, I think he's going to be a guy. I think he's going to make that leap this year and become one of those top receivers. At least pretty dang close, right? Like somewhere in the Godwin category. And then Cooks, we talk about it. Davis Mills, they're trying to see what they have. Sure, they got running backs, but if the game gets away, they're going to throw the ball. And the only guy that's been consistent on that team is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks has sneakily had 1,000-yard reception seasons, and so I don't think that stops. Right? If it's the only tool that comes out of the Swiss Army knife, you're going to use the heck out of it. And right now, that seems to be the only tool that's coming out, that little corkscrew that is Brandon Cooks. So,
Okay, I got you. All right, so it's Brandon Cooks on the wide receiver, and then who on the flex?
Yes, those two guys. St. Brown.
Just
Yeah, Brown and Cooks. It doesn't matter where you put them.
Okay, so Jack Booz is asking, should he start Mike Davis over Sanders or Gordon, uh, or just Sanders maybe Gordon?
The list on that start right there is Mike Davis dead last. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Sanders and then Gordon. So Gordon has really good upside. They're going to say the coach came out and he said he's going to go with the hot hand. Unfortunately, I think the hot hand is always going to be, Williams. So yeah, Gordon's not going to be. He's not going to be terrible. Decent pickup right there, decent draft pick. He gets his opportunities, but it's just going to be less.
Okay. Would you start Dolphins defense over? This is a two-part. Sorry, from Jack. Would you start Dolphins defense over Dallas's defense this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would. I worry about Tampa Bay. I worry about their options. And then when you go and look at New England, they got Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is a game manager. We've talked about this. Their receiving core is new they brought in Devontae Parker, who, yes, he had a great season a couple seasons ago. He's number 12 receiver or whatever. But now he's with a new team, new offense, and then the other guys that they have never been they're not taking the top off of anybody. They're not beating guys on routes. It's just an issue. So I don't think their problems don't change this year. And I think it's going to be tough. I think, you put Xavier Howard, one of the top DBs, on Devontae Parker if you think Devontae Parker's a weapon, and that's it. The rest of the guys are going to be the same as they were yet last year. Nothing special, nothing great. And so I think the Dolphins are going to be able to get at Mac Jones, get to him, and force him to make some mistakes. I think he threw a total of like 4 picks in the 2 games that he played him last year. So that's 2 picks a game average. I mean, come on.
Right, I agree. Austin did send me another question. So he said, don't start Godwin if you don't have to. So his other options is I want Ross St. Brown or Cooper. Who would you choose? He's leaning towards Brown.
Yeah. I like Brown better than I like Amari Cooper. Right? Is that the Cooper?
Okay. Yes, Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I just think Brown. We talked about it. We just said I think Brown's going to be a guy. I think he has the potential to grab 10 receptions a game, and at 10 receptions, that's 10 opportunities of him to be able to take the top off, to be able to make a guy miss and go. So I love what he can do, and there's no other right. Like he's good, and then you look at the rest of the players on that team, they're just not. You got Swift and you got him, and I think I don't know. I always love the idea of a guy like that because you can double cover him, but you're still going to try to get him the ball. I think he's good enough that he's going to, like I said, he's going to be targeted at least 10 times this game, and I think he's going to catch 10 of those because 202 balls off the jug machine.
Sure. Let's see here. I got anybody else here?
Okay.
Looks like that's it for just the moment. Wait, hold on. All right, so this comes from Jacob. He said, "Good morning."
What's going on, Jacob?
He says, I'm in need of some fantasy advice, if you don't mind. I currently. We've already talked about this one. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Sorry. This is that was on Wednesday. I went too far down here. Okay, that's all I got for this moment, guys. So let's go ahead and we got any more questions? Keep coming in. Polk, do you have anything on YouTube right now that anybody asking questions? Do you notice?
No, unfortunately not. I don't see any questions. There's a couple other things they're talking about, but no one's really asked any questions.
Okay. All right. So do you want to go ahead and finish up on the teams for the 3 o'clock here?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right. So New York Giants versus the Tennessee Titans. Polk, you play Saquon Barkley today.
Yes.
Okay. You
Yes,
play
I think you
anybody
have to
else?
play. Uh,
Anybody else? Your boy Kenny Galladay.
Play
Who did
it.
you
Do
play
not
today?
play Kenny Galladay. Don't ever play Drop Kenny Galladay. No, you can keep him. Maybe I don't know. I just don't see a situation where you have to need to start him. No, Barkley. Barkley is the only guy. I don't think Danny Dimes is going to be Danny Dimes today.
Yeah.
I like Tooney when he comes back and is consistent or whatever. If he can ever stay on the field, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Barkley's the only guy on that offense I'm starting today.
Okay. All right. Tennessee Titans. Of course, you got to start the man Derrick Henry over there. But anybody else over there? Would you start Robert Woods today?
Oh man, not if I didn't have to.
Okay. What about a flex option? PDR.
Um, yeah. Oh, it's hard to say this guy's without. Yes, I would. Okay, there's. I mean, if you have to, yeah. Uh, there should be someone that's going to have a better opportunity. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a terrible opportunity. It's a terrible Giants team. Someone's going to get the ball. They're going to throw the ball. Treylon Burks or Robert Woods. My money's on Robert Woods being better. I just worry because he's coming back from injury. Like, I just don't know. I mean, they say he's looked good. I just haven't seen him fully, with a full game script myself to be able to be like, okay, yeah, no real concerns at all. This guy is going to be ready to go 100% every week. I got to see if he's running the same routes, if he's running them, with quickness and everything else. And I'm sure his hands, those are the last thing to go, are just as good. But I worry about his speed and his route running, right? Also, if Treylon Burks is what appears to be, um, you know, they got to cover is Robert Woods. So, but I do like Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods has more upside than this season than Treylon Burks right now. So Robert Wood, I would, yes, if I had to, if it was PPR for sure, because he can be that consistent guy. He's proven that.
Okay. All right. So the three games should be really, really fun to watch. Kansas City against Arizona. In Arizona. All right, let's start with KC. Of course, you got to start Patty Mahomes. But who else would you start over there? Would you start Andrew
Kels.
Juju?
I start Kels. No,
I'll take
I would wait on
MVS as well.
MBS. I would wait on MBS and Juju. I want to see, and apparently Juju is the emerging guy, right? Both of these came from the same. They kind of fell out of favor with their old teams. NBA, they're two different types of monsters, right? Juju's kind of a inside route running type of guy. MVS is a guy that's big, tall, can take the top off of defense. We got to figure out who Patty Mahomes favors, right? Like, it's been obvious in years past. And he does spread the ball out. But in the end, all quarterbacks favor, is it still Kels? If it's still Kels, those guys could get 4 catches for 60 yards, which isn't a terrible stat line at the same time, we just got to see. You got Hardman, you got MBS, you got Juju. I want to know who the true number one is, right? You get depth charts that say it's Juju. MBS is the 2, and, Hardman is the hard slot. But I want to see them play, and I want to see who is the real number 1 wide receiver, right?
Okay, I got you there. All right, so you got Arizona over there. They don't have D Hops over there. Of course, you're going to start Kyler Murray, but Rondell Moore is questionable for this game as well. So is Zach Ertz, but more likely, I keep hearing Zach Ertz might be. But if he is playing, it's not going to be the Zach Ertz show over there because he's not 100%. So who would you start? I mean, is it Hollywood Brown? Is he gonna? Is he gonna over there? What's your thoughts on that? I mean, James Conner. Tell me all about.
Yeah, no, like you said, I think Hollywood Brown is the way to go at that point. Everybody else is hurt, missing. It's his old college quarterback, right? So they're going to try to, if they're not already doing that in practice, they're going to try to build a rapport. Hollywood Brown is fast. Kyler Murray is fast. I think they're fast if they're not friends. Let's see what I did there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
No, I think, I mean, it's just, they built a rapport in college. It's nice because now you don't have D-Hops to worry about. So it's Hollywood Brown. It's going to be the Hollywood Brown show. As long as he can catch the ball, he's going to be a good option. I think it's going to be, with all the injuries already, it's going to be a little bit tougher game than we all thought. But again, Kyler Murray, he's able to scramble. He's going to get out there. You're going to start him, right? I think it's going to be a pretty decently high scoring game. Now, the last time I said that, high scoring for one team, the other team just got rocked. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good scoring game. I think Hollywood Brown, Kyler Murray, Connor. I mean, you start him. He's the number one back. Just temper expectations on those touchdowns.
All right. So next game is going to be the Raiders against the Chargers. All right. So we already know you should start Devontae Adams.
Yep.
What about Henry? What about Waller? What about Josh Jacobs? What about Zamir White? Stop all of those. I mean, David Carter, of course, is going to be a must start if you have him in your lineup.
All those except for Zamir White.
Why
I start every one of those. Because right now on the unofficial depth chart, Zamir White's listed as the number 4. I think Zamir White gets opportunities, right? He did really well in the preseason. But right now they're still paying Jacobs. Jacobs is the number 1 back. They got a couple of other guys, Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, who they're not the worst. So Zamir White's just, you got it. They're stashing it, right? It's a new team. They're going to rebuild rebuild this team. And so I don't think they're in a hurry to use Zamir White, right? They know what they have. They'll put them on the back burner. Now all these other guys, hopefully show out so that they can send them on their way, get Josh Jacobs, get a little bit of trade value for him, send him out, or, just let him go. Whatever you need to do. But you know what you got. You ain't got to rush into.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you real quick, in my opinion, I think he's going to take over Josh Jacobs' job. They are talking about a little bit of him using
today.
Not today.
Right. Okay.
Not today.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. I know where you're getting this, but I think eventually he's going to take over that job. They're talking about using him in goal line situations. But today, you should not use Zamir White.
No, don't use him today. Too many other options.
Okay. Gotcha. Right. There's a lot of options. And today, Derek Carr is going to air it out today because he's got his new toy. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got his son back in college. So he's going to air it out today. He's going to throw it to Henry Pro. He's going to throw it to Waller. It's going to.
It's just going to be airing the ball. So let's go to the Chargers side.
Yes.
Hold on a second, Scott. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. All right. I can hear you. What is Polk doing over here? What's he doing over here, guys?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm back.
So let's go. Okay. Let's go to the Chargers side over there. Of course, you're going to start the man Justin Herbert over there.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is the guy. That's what I was about to say. He's going to be the
Austin
guy
Eckler
over there today. Austin Eckler. What about Keenan Allen?
Start them all.
Okay.
Start them all.
Start them all.
Raiders are not known for having great DBs. They do have a great pass rush, but not great DBs. So you start them all. They're a pretty decent day. It's Herbs, right? Herbs will uncork that cannon and send it. And They should all have a pretty decent day. It should be a good game. I'm really excited about the game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be seeing the games over here in Texas. It's probably going to be Kansas and Arizona, but I would really like to see the Raiders and Chargers here. So your last 3 o'clock game over here is going to be Green Bay versus Minnesota. Of course, you're going to start Aaron Rodgers. Who's the start over there?
Yeah, you start Aaron Rodgers and start Aaron Jones. Okay with starting Aaron Jones. And if I have to, I'm okay with starting Dylan too, to an extent.
Yeah, all right, I got you. All right, Tanya, no. I mean, what about
Tanya's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, Tanya's going to play. Should you start him? I mean, if you have him.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, if you got Zach Ertz and Tanya, yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
If you, I mean, if you're sitting there with Tanya and start Tanya. He is the only option, right? And he has established himself with Aaron Rodgers, so he's the most established with Aaron Rodgers that could possibly catch the ball besides Aaron Jones. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem starting him, especially with tight ends. He's got high upside. He can have a really good year. He's a guy that if you're not okay with your tight end situation, if you don't get one of those big guys, he would be one I would consider picking up and trying to stash. Even though I'm not a huge fan of holding on to tight ends.
Okay, all right. So now we're going to go to our Sunday night game here. Bay against Dallas. Of course, let's start with Tampa Bay. Of course, Mike Evans, you start.
Michael Thomas is upgraded to active, so he's going to play today.
Okay, Michael Thomas. You heard it, guys. Michael Thomas is playing, so if you want to put him in your, yep, I just see that here. Want to try him? Go ahead, try him. But go back to Tampa Bay. We know Tom Brady's playing. Mike Evans, you want to play him? You want to start him?
Yeah.
Chris Godwin.
No.
Julio Jones.
No.
Okay. Leonard Fournette.
Yes.
Okay. That should be it on that side there. Dallas side, of course, you're going to be Dak Prescott. Dalton Schultz. You play him?
Yes.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
Tolbert.
No.
Zeke Elliott.
Yes. Understand the expectations of Zeke Elliott. I don't think he's going to come out there and just blow it up and get 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. You look for about 50, 60 yards rushing maybe, and the possibility of a touchdown. So know what you're starting. Know the stat line.
Anybody else in that Dallas offense?
Not that I can think of. Not right now. Wish Gallup was ready. I'd say start him.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go to the Monday night game there. Denver Broncos against Seattle Seahawks. Yes, sir.
J.K. Dobbins inactive.
Okay. All right, guys. J.K. Dobbins is inactive. Get him out of your lineup if you have him. If you have anybody to start, let us know. We'll talk to you. Shoot us a text on Facebook Messenger. Look for me a fun situation. We'll get your question on the air, or go to also Facebook, Scott and Polk, or leave a question on YouTube for us. All right, Monday night game. This is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch this game. Russ is back. He's playing Denver Broncos against his old team, Seattle Seahawks. Start Russell Wilson.
This is not going to be a good game, Scott.
For me, because I love
Russell Wilson. He's been one of my favorite quarterbacks, and I want him to just torture Seattle. So Start Russell Wilson. Who else would you start over there? Courtland Sutton?
Oh yeah, no, I'd start Sutton for sure. Williams out of the backfield.
Gordon?
No, I don't. Not if I didn't have to. If I had J.K. Dobbins, and we just found out that he's not playing, and I had him in my lineup, yeah, then I'm gonna throw Gordon in.
So you said Judy?
Yeah, start Judy. Start Judy against the terrible Seattle team.
Okay. What about Albert OK?
I do not start Albert if I don't have to.
Okay. KJ Hamler?
No, I don't start Hamler. He's coming off that injury. I just, with a speed guy like that, it just concerns me. I'd like to see him get a little bit of game in.
Okay. All right. Switching over to Seattle. Any Seattle player? DK, Tyler Lockett.
Let me think about it. No.
Okay. Rashard Penny.
Yeah. You can start Penny. Penny is the only guy I would consider. And then just, gosh, hope and pray. Don't watch the game because it might break your heart when he runs it the first time.
Man.
His fucking leg falls off. Yeah.
I mean, apparently his handcuff is hurt too. It's questionable.
Yeah. He's going to be out for a hernia or whatever, I think.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. DJ. What's that?
So then it's like Dallas or something. Dallas is third.
Yeah. DJ Dallas. Yeah. Already having problems over there in Seattle. That's not good.
Well, when they announced Geno Smith as a quarterback, they decided they wanted problems. So
yeah, exactly. That wraps it up over there for week 1. What you got any other injury updates for us?
No, man. Let me take a look. So Tyler Algier, the Atlanta backup runner, he's going to be a healthy scratch, so that just gives you a little bit more confidence to start Cordell Patterson, even though I don't think you should have confidence in starting Cordell Patterson, right? J.K. Dobbins is going to be out. Packers expected to be without David Bakhtiari, Alan Lazard for this game. Cardinals, Zach Ertz, who is listed as questionable for Sunday due to calf injury, is likely to play versus the Chiefs, barring any pregame setbacks. Jacoby Myers, Ty Montgomery active versus the Dolphins. I don't think that fucking matters. Sorry for my language, but I really don't. Justin Jefferson just, solidifies that he says that he's going to be the best receiver in football this year, and Kirk Cousins is really challenging him, which is weird because I don't see Kirk Cousins challenging anybody ever. But right on, that's what he's putting out. So that's neat, I guess. Great receiver, great guy. I think he's going to have a real special year. Just, be about it, don't talk about it.
Yeah,
me, quarterback
exactly.
is Kirk Cousins, so let's pump the brakes. Anyway, Buccaneers, Godwin listed as questionable due to last season's knee injury. Expected to play Sunday night, but could be on a pitch count. And we talked about that. Just not a fan of that. Don't like to hear that at all. So I would not try to start him. Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas listed questionable for Sunday due to hamstring injury, is expected to play. And then Falcons, Drake London listed as questionable for Sunday due to knee injury, is expected to play. So there you go. On those two guys, they're expected to play. Do you start them? If you have to. Are you happy about it? Probably not. That's about it, man. I think we covered it. I'm excited. We got 1 hour till football, and that's exciting. And in about, 8 hours, I'll really know how excited Monday's going to be. Unfortunate because I gotta be in Monday at 7 a.m. So I'll be up at 4 a.m. Driving. So that should be fun. So I'll let you know how good a mood I'll be in at that time.
All right, guys. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for us here for Sunday.
That 100% wraps it up for us.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
Argumentative. I might drink a beer. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. So we'll probably come back at you either Tuesday or Wednesday. Talk about week one, how to wrap up that week, and then we'll talk about week two. Who to start, who to sit all this week. Guys, if you got any questions or anything, hit us up real quick before the games. We'll answer your questions for you. That's it for me, buddy.
Hey, real quick. So, hey, if we're done talking about football, so if you're done, you can go ahead and tune out. Real quick, it's my daughter's birthday. McKenna Lynn, she turns 4 today. So this little wild child, she's fresh out of the shower, so don't mind the hair. But she just wanted to say hi. So there we go.
Hi.
Oh, your hair looks so nappy. But it's her birthday, 4 years old. We love you. Happy birthday, McKenna.
Happy birthday.
All right. And she's off. All right.
She's gone.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Hope y'all have a great Sunday. Hope, all your fantasy players do, just the best ever. If you're a listener, we're going to hope that your fantasy players do better than your opponents. We hate your opponents' fantasy players, even if they're our players. So we love you. We hope you win. We hope you're one step. We helped you to get one step forward towards that championship, the end goal, the whatever y'all do, the ring, the belt, the money, whatever. I hope you all start today in your journey to win it. So hopefully we can continue to be a part of it. We love y'all. If y'all have questions, don't hesitate. That's what we're here for. We're pretty knowledgeable, and I love answering questions. So,
absolutely. All right, guys, this wraps it up for Post Situation. We'll get back with you either Tuesday or Wednesday. And y'all have a great week and have fun watching football today.